Good morning, students, and welcome to the class. Today we will learn Chapter 9, The Bond of Love. The Bond of Love is a story of love and friendship between a pet bear cub and the author's wife. So, here this also speaks about a friendship or love between human being and wild animals. And it's also tell us the even the animals have emotion, they have feelings. So let us learn the chapter and understand the lesson. I will begin with Bruno, my wife's pet sloth bear. I got him for her by accident. Here the narrator, the author is speaking about one incident. So he himself is telling, I will begin with Bruno. Bruno is a sloth bear. The name of the sloth bear is Bruno. So I got him for her by accident. Got him for her means author's wife, the narrator's wife. So that is by accident means by chance. He got this sloth bear by chance. 2 years ago, we were passing through the sugarcane fields near Mysore. People were driving away the wild pigs from the fields by shooting at them. Some were shot and some escaped. We thought that everything was over when suddenly a black sloth bear came out panting in the hot sun. Now, the narrator is telling about the incident from where and how he got Bruno. So he is telling 2 years before what happened. He was in Mysore for some time with his friends. So what happened, he saw people were driving away means chasing the wild pigs which were destroying the sugarcane. So what people were doing, they were shooting at the wild pigs and chasing them. So some they killed and few escaped. So when they thought that everything is over, suddenly they noticed that there came a black sloth bear. This is a picture of the black sloth bear. So it was panting because the sun was very hot. The bear was panting. Well, I will not shoot a sloth bear wantonly. But unfortunately for the poor beast, one of my companions did not feel that way about it and promptly shot the bear on the spot. So what happened? The, Actually, people were chasing the wild pigs. In between, it happened to appear a sloth bear. So the narrator is telling, want only means for reason only if I could have killed a sloth bear. I could have, no, want only means if it is make any harm to the people only I could have made a harm to him. But what happened? Unfortunately, his friend, the narrator's friend, he did not think in that way. He immediately removed the gun and shot at the sloth bear, and the bear died on the spot. As we watched the fallen animal, we were surprised to see that the black fur on its back moved and left the prostrate body. Prostrate means lying on the ground facing downwards. So they killed the narrator's friend, shot at the bear, and the bear died. But immediately they saw the back portion of the bear's fur were moving. There is something, a movement on it. So they just surprised to see what it was because the bear was already died and what is moving on its back. Then we saw it was a baby bear that had been riding on its mother's back. When the sudden shot had killed her, the little creature ran around its prostrate parent, making a pitiful noise. Now, actually, what happened? On the back of the sloth bear, a baby bear was traveling. So the mother was immediately killed on the spot, and the baby bear was crying, moving around the dead mother. I ran up to it to attempt a capture. It scooted into the sugarcane field. Following it with my companions, I was at last able to grab it by the scruff of its neck while it snapped and tried to scratch me with its long hooked claws. Now, the narrator wanted to uh, pick up take the baby bear. So he went after the bear, but it scooted means ran away into the sugarcane because the mother was already killed and the baby bear was really scared. So in order to get escape from there, it went into the sugarcane field, and the narrator and his friends companions followed, and at last the narrator managed to to get it by the scrub, the back side of the neck. You catch the animals, some of the animals, even rabbits, cat and dogs, by its back, the skin, that's called the scab of the neck, and snapped and tried to scratch me with its long hooked claws, but the animal tried to escape by scratching the narrator. We put it in one of the gunny bags we had brought, and I got back to Bangalore. I duly presented it to my wife. So the narrator had gone to Mysore for some meeting. So on the way back only this happened. And when he reached Bangalore, what happened? He handed that sloth bear to baby bear to his wife. She was delighted. She was extremely happy, and she at once put a colored ribbon around its neck. And after discovering the cub was a boy, she christened it Bruno. So when she came to know the baby bear was a male, a boy, she christened it, means named it Bruno. She gave the name that uh, cub Bruno. Bruno soon took to drink milk from a bottle. It was but a step further, and within a very few days, he started eating and drinking everything else. And everything is the right word, for he ate porridge made from any ingredients: vegetable, fruits, nuts, meats, especially pork, curry, rice, regardless of condiments and chilies, bread, egg, chocolate, sweets, pudding, ice cream, etc., etc., etc. So the narrator is telling the baby bear ate everything. So he's telling the correct word is everything, because the big list he has given here, everything which was provided to the sloth bear it had. And for drinking milk, tea, coffee, lime juice, salted water, buttermilk, beer, alcohol, liquor, and in fact anything liquid, it all went down with relish. Relish means with taste. So for the eatable things, whatever is provided to him, he used to eat. And for drinking, he has given a big list. The whatever is, even it is for soda or it's for alcohol, everything, whatever is provided, he used to eat. The bear became very attached to our two Alsatian dogs and to all the children of the tenants living in our bungalow. He was left quite free in his younger days and spent his time in playing, running into the kitchen, and going to sleep in our beds. So the narrator also had two Alsatian dogs, and the baby bear was very friendly with the dogs as well as all other tenants. Tenants means all those who live in the rented places of the bungalow, and they all were. Bruno was happy with all of them, and he made friendship with all of them. And the bear was kept open as it was very young, and it used to go to the kitchen and sleep in their own beds. So that means the Bruno was kept in the house as a child. One day an accident befell. I put down poison, that is barium carbonate, to kill the rats and mice that had got into my library. Bruno entered the library as he often did, and he ate some of the poison. Paralysis set on to the extent that he could not stand on on his feet, but he dragged himself on his stumps to my wife, she who called me. Wonder what happens? The narrator had kept a poison, barium carbonate, to kill the rats and the mites in the library. So very often Bruno used to come to the library. So that day what happened? He entered and he had some poison of barium carbonate. So when he ate the barium carbonate, what happened? He became paralyzed. So he could not walk. Paralyzed means he could not walk. So he dragged himself to narrator's wife, and she immediately called the narrator. I guessed what had happened. The narrator, after when he saw the Bruno, he came to know what happened. So he immediately rushed it in the car to the vet residence. Vet means the veterinary doctor, those who take care of the animals. A case of poisoning, tame bear, barium carbonate. What to do? So he said, the doctor, the bear has eaten the barium carbonate. Now what should I do? So the doctor immediately opened his book. He came out his medical book, and a feverish reference to index began. Then he checked in the index. What poison did you say? The doctor said, what did you say? Then the narrator said, barium carbonate. So he first H he checked, then he checked B alphabet, then BA, then he said barium salts, then he said barium carbonate. So what is the symptom of eating barium carbonate? That paralyzes. The person become paralyzed who eats. So what the treatment? He checked in the book. That was injection. Just minute, sir. I will bring my syringe. Then the doctor went to bring the syringe and the medicine. I dashed back to the car, Bruno still floundering about on his stumps, but clearly weakening rapidly. So vomiting, heavy breathing, with heaving flanks and gaping mouth. So when the narrator went into the car, he saw the condition of Bruno was very serious. It was struggling to move. Then continuously it was going very weak. The Bruno was vomiting, and it was difficult for him to breathe. Hold him, everybody. So he told, because animals, you must have seen how they give the injection. They hold the animal tight. In goes the hypodermic Bruno squeals. Squeals means hypodermic man, a long needle used for the animals. And Bruno squeals started making noise. 10 cc of the antidotes enters his system without a drop being wasted. So antidotes, the medicine for the poison was given, and without a drop was wasted. It was put in the body of Bruno. 10 minutes later, condition unchanged. After 10 minutes, when they checked, there wasn't any change. The Bruno was in the same condition. What they did, after 10 minutes, another 10 cc injected. 10 minutes later, breathing less, stertorous means noisy breathing, started snoring. Then Bruno can move his arms and legs in a little, though he could not stand it. So he could, after the second injection, he could manage little bit to move his hands and legs. Bruno gets up and has a great feed. After 30 minutes, what happened? Bruno got up and again started to eat. He looks at us disdainfully. Disdainfully means without what is happening around me. Why the doctors and what the other people are standing. That way he was looking around them. So much as to say, so the way he was wanted to say, what barium carbonate to a big black bear like me. So the narrator is telling, Bruno was looking at us the way that what can barium carbonate do for me. Bruno is still eating. So after medicine was given, still the bear was eating. At the time, he found nearly 1 gallon of old engine oil, which I had drained from the stem of the Studia breaker and was keeping as a weapon against the indoors in termites. He promptly drank a lot, but it had no ill effects whatever. So the another time what happened? The engine oil, you know that the engine oil 1 gallon, one measure of engine oil was kept, and it was kept removed from the Studio Baker, the vehicle's name, in order to in order to kill the termites. It was termites to kill the termites. It was kept by the narrator. What happened? He comes to the place and drank that, but promptly he drank a lot, but nothing ill effect happened. Nothing happened to him. So this we'll stop here. Tomorrow we'll continue the next portion. So read, revise. If you have any problem, verify with me.